60% of Americans don't earn enough to afford basic costs of living.
This is America.
And stop calling it the bottom 60%. 60% is over 50%, which means it's the overwhelming majority of people in the United States that cannot afford a minimum quality of life. Now, a lot of people like to talk about the official unemployment rate being 4.2%, and they're like, oh, it's so low. But what they never talk about is the US jobless rate is 24%. These are people who are considered functionally unemployed. That includes people who don't have jobs, people who have jobs but have poverty wages, which means they don't get paid enough to even be out of poverty, and people who are unable to find full-time employment because they're stuck in part-time jobs. And now those 60% of people who already can't make it to the minimum quality of life are about to start paying more money for fucking everything because of Trump's tariffs. Literally, Walmart came out and said that the US trade war is going to create higher prices and that higher prices are inevitable. Meanwhile, Trump is getting ready to accept a $400 million luxury jet from Qatar. He plans on doing a $92 million military parade for himself during his birthday. And Republicans are still trying to cut Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And by the way, the Medicare, Medicaid they're trying to cut will kill 21,600 Americans per year. That's Trump's way of making America great again.
Ever feel like you're paying just to exist? Not live, just survive. You're not crazy for being tired, baby. And you're not lazy for being broke. And you're not alone, wondering no matter how hard you work, you can't breathe. This system was never designed for you to win. It was designed for you to comply. And the more obedient that we become, the more expensive those people made life for us. We traded community for convenience, power for comfort. Now we pay rent to breathe, work to afford time, and we cry in silence, y'all, because it's become normal. But it didn't have to be this way. Somewhere along the line in all of this great experiment called life, we gave up the ability to say no. You ever wonder how different things would be if we valued people over profits? If healing didn't cost you any money? If peace wasn't a luxury? We've been convinced that poverty is a personal failure, but it's not. It's actually a political choice. Have you ever had a moment where you realize this life ain't living? Tag somebody that needs to hear this. Let's start unlearning this stuff together.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up, you can't, shut up, stop saying ridiculous things. An entry-level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those two things come out of their paycheck and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a one-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, a car payment's $579 a month. Car insurance, $240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person, you've got a nice job, but the insurance companies still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home and you only eat decent quality food because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $879 a month for that. You spend $250 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make $75,000 a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your $800, you don't get to do it. you have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's 300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be entertained. They want to date. They want to... There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means objectively you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world. This is unsustainable.
The way the cost of living has gone up is fucking crazy. A 1-bedroom apartment is damn near $2,000 a month, which is crazy. Like, what? Food is steady going up. And it's just like, damn, what do y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to live on the street in a box and, you know, eat out the garbage and drink my spit? Because at this point, that's what I'm finna fucking do. Because, no, I'm not finna pay for no $2,000 apartment and I'm barely in it, motherfucker. Because I'm always at work trying to keep the motherfucker. So, I don't know.
I am selling my house and I'm getting ready to move back with my parents yet again. I am single. I do have a 9-to-5 job where it does not pay me nearly enough to cover the bills. And I've had this house for about 3 years now, and I am just exhausted. I am drowning, barely surviving, not being able to make repairs because the house is now falling apart, and I have no money in my savings to fix it. I have been saving for the past 3 years. All I've been doing is working and going straight home. I don't go out. I don't spend money on like coffee or anything. I try to save as much money as possible so I could get some money to make repairs for this house to make it nice and comfortable and livable. But I am at my wit's end now, and I'm just tired. I honestly want to leave my job, my 9-to-5 job that's not paying me well enough to even cover the bills. I'm exhausted. I want to leave, but then I'm stuck with this house, and I just don't want any of it anymore. So I'm selling it. I don't know what my plans are going to be after I sell my house and maybe leave this 9-to-5 job that I'm at. But we're just going to figure it out. So I'm going to sell my house and go back to living with my parents, unfortunately. And living with my parents is not going to be easy because it is very mentally draining. Financially, yeah, I'll be able to save some money, but it is mentally draining because living with some Spanish parents that treat you like you're 15 yet again, even though you are a grown-ass adult, is just as bad.
Tell me why the fuck I went to Walmart. This is all I purchased. That's it. In a nutshell, cat litter, home fragrance, deodorant, dry shampoo, 2 candles off-brand, a sleep t-shirt, a sleep pant, mouthwash, toothpaste, and that's it. Y'all want to know what this totaled? $198.72. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, and 5 protein drinks, almost $5 a fucking piece.
So y'all want to know something? This officially is $89 worth of food. This right here, $89. This is one meal. I decided that I wanted to make buttered chicken, and this is without the rice. The rice is in the rice cooker. We already had rice, but this is without the rice. This is officially $100 basically worth of food. I got, my green onions. I got, cilantro, some regular onions, some green bell peppers, and it's not, and you know what? I love HEB so much, and it's not HEB's fault. Whose fault is it, y'all? Answer me this. Whose fault is it? This is one meal that I'm putting together right now for my family of 6? Yeah, 5 or 6. It's 5 or 6 of us. Whatever. I'm not counting all of us. Anyway, but look, I wonder why. I wondered the frig why.
Y'all, life is not making that much sense right now in terms of the cost of every fucking thing. Tell me why I just had to spend $400 to register my car. Yes, $400 for a piece of paper. I haven't bought any Christmas gifts. Zero. None. Not one. And the way that it's looking, y'all not getting nothing. Y'all ain't getting nothing from me because groceries are too high, car insurance too high, car bills, everything is high. They're going to increase rent. As soon as the lease renews, they're going to increase the rent. So what is this? It's almost like my brain can't really compute this because I'm just imagining like if I was a mom and I had kids and I just had to come pay this shit, bro. Kids need Christmas presents. Now I done spent $400 at the motherfucking DMV and I can't buy my kids no fucking Christmas gifts. Or lights about to get cut off because I had to buy this piece of fucking paper. What the fuck? I'm sorry for using all the F-bombs, but